cash flow has no respect for the Supreme Court, as we are seeing that cash scarcity is persisting despite the order from the Supreme Court. Welcome to Business and Finance here on Eco Television International. I am Rachel Tanzi. Thank you for tuning in. Now, we can see that over the week, starting from the central bank down to the Supreme Court, there have been orders and awareness to Nigerians that the new notes and the old notes are not going anywhere. They will coexist and remain legal tenders indefinitely beyond the December 31st speculated date. But we are still seeing that there is still cash scarcity. And the reason behind that, the number one reason that the CBN have clearly stated is that there is panic withdrawal. We are seeing that customers all around the banks, even down to POS agents, are withdrawing money in large chunk and are hurting it. So the circulation is not as it should be because people are hurting money. People are going to the banks, withdrawing large sums of money and then keeping it at home because you know what? The festive season is around the corner and we know what we went through 2022 December down to January, and nobody wants a repeat of the cash crunch in the country. The hardship was immense and then people were literally buying naira for naira. So I mean, individuals, we just have this mindset to say, you know what, let's protect ourselves from what happened in the past, despite statements coming from the CBN saying that there will be enough money in circulation. But nope, Nigerians are not listening and going about it their own way. Now, even commercial banks are saying that there is no cash, but the CBN is saying something differently, that there is enough currency in circulation, enough for economic activities. But individuals out there are finding it different as ATMs are not having money. And then we are also seeing exploitation beginning to happen at the POS operators offices and all of that, because we are seeing that now there is a hike in the price for services when it comes to withdrawal at the POS. We have in some states you can go for as high as 300 naira to get 10,000 naira, which wasn't that high. In states like Lagos, we are seeing POS agents demanding for over 1,200 naira for you to be able to withdraw 10,000 naira. So we know that for sure when it comes to scarcity, sometimes hoarding, which is a man-made activity, can be the major reason. And the CBN is telling us that this scarcity is as a result of panic withdrawal. Now, the CBN is saying, we shouldn't worry, there is enough currency. We are the solution to our problems. Let's stop withdrawing too much money. And of course, this is also the advice given to us by the CBN that we should stop panic withdrawals. Stop panic withdrawal. The new notes and the old notes are not going anywhere. They remain in circulation. You have nothing to worry. January won't repeat itself again. Also, it advises Nigerians to embrace alternative modes of payment, which of course is to embrace cashless way of transaction, that is bank transfer using the POS to make transfer when you make a purchase, or just anything that will stop you from needing too much money in hand to be able to make purchase for any good of our services. Well, in the first place, that is the aim for the CBN, trying to change the currency to reduce circulation out of the banks back into the bank. But we are seeing that over the months, starting since last year, there haven't been much achievement to that. Now, central bank is trying to say that this is also a way to take away the panic and the stress from Nigerians. So in situation where you can do transfers, please do transfers. And in a situation where you can use your card, please do your card to reduce the whole panic concerning scarcity of the cash in country. However, they keep emphasizing that there is enough cash for economic activities. So you have nothing to worry. Even when the ATMs or the POS are charging higher prices, you can find other alternatives and move for your transactions. Now, amidst the scarcity, we are still seeing that the naira is having a free fall. It continues to have a free fall, and no attempt so far by the Central Bank of Nigeria, by the presidency, has helped the naira gain some value. Yes, it keeps moving within the same frequency, in the sense that as at last week, we saw it closing it at 803 naira to a dollar. and then starting this week is still at 798 naira. So we're just seeing just some kobolds in difference and all of that, and it means that the naira is still falling. And this is going to contradict the prediction for 2024 budget concerning having an exchange rate stable at 750 naira to a dollar, because we are seeing that this free fall is not about to stop, and whatever difference is not that significant as it is now, because we are still seeing that factors affecting this exchange rate still remain, such as this forex scarcity. We are seeing inflation still at play, and we are seeing that the prices of the price of petroleum is still high. So as it stands now, every factor around affecting the exchange of naira to a dollar, making it this high, still remains, and therefore we might keep seeing a free fall. But as it is now, the dollar as against the naira is still very high. Now, concerning trap funds, we are saying that the trap funds are still trapped, and what this means is that there might be airlines exiting the country. And when airlines exit the country, it means businesses will have to shut down, because there are a lot of businesses that are functioning and are needed because of these airlines. And we are seeing the IATA constantly telling Nigerians, you know what, we might be forced to boycott you, because we are talking of trap funds of over $762 million, not naira, million dollars, which is amounting to billions of Nigerian naira. Now, the key challenge, according to the airline operators, remain the inability to raise the foreign currency required for their operation, as over $792 million of the funds are still trapped in Nigeria, a development that is currently threatening their operations globally. Now, you might begin to wonder what airlines in specific are beginning to leave the country, because it might look like there is no airline leaving, because it just feels like a thread. But we know we can see an example coming from the EAU, which we see that the Emirates Airlines have left. Now, despite it might look like a ban, but we are seeing that no matter what the president is doing, these airlines are refusing to come back. And it might look, okay, what did Nigerians do? We've never had a very concrete, precise reason to why we are having this ban and why Emirates are not back operating in the countries. Well, these are an example of countries that are beginning to boycott us and then leaving our airlines for us and going elsewhere, because the trap fund is too much. Only one airline alone is having over $200 million of trap funds. That is a lot, and whether we like it or not, it might be difficult, very, very difficult, for that airline to choose and continue operating with Nigeria. Now, there's a lot that the president have tried to do. Like we see, he has directed the Central Bank of Nigeria to create a platform, quarterly reconciliatory meeting with foreign airlines, addressing the backlog of their fund. However, ever since then, nothing has come out from that committee that had been set. Nothing, no trap fund have been released yet. The backlog still remains, and it keeps increasing. So if we are at $792 million come 2024, we will be above 800 million. And we hope not to reach billions of dollars eventually, because these airlines, in as much as they will want to continue transacting business with us, will be forced to leave, because in the end, it's all about business, not just relationship. It's business, and these airlines need to conduct business as it is. So if this trap fund saga continues, we might have to see airlines that have no option but to leave, because they can't keep running business with trap funds in the country. Now, we're having our CBN governor saying that our external reserve is dropping. And in just 5 weeks, we are looking at over $520 million loss. When we say it's dropping, of course, it is a loss to our external reserve, because that is the least we want to know when we are in the middle of a forex crisis and there is scarcity of the dollar. Now, let's look at some of the numbers. According to the CBN data movement in reserves, the figure was stood at 33.396 billion as at October and then it fell to 33.004 billion as at December. So we can see the fall. Now, the CBN had earlier revealed that the reserve, which commenced January 3rd, 2023 at 37.07. If you have been following business and finance, the last time I talked about our external reserve, it was at 37 billion naira. Now we are seeing it falling to 33.23 billion naira as of September. Now, speaking recently at the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria 58th Annual Bankers Dinner, we are seeing that the CBN Governor Oleyemi Cardoso said in recent years the continuous decline in Nigeria's crude oil production has further weakened the already inadequate economic diversification. Of course, we are a country that depends largely on oil production. So when there is a decline in our oil production, our external reserve is going to see a fall also. Now, this has led to a decline in government revenue and foreign exchange inflows, while simultaneously witnessing a growth in public expenditure and deterioration in macroeconomic indicators. Yes, looking at our budget, of course, public expenditure is going high, which has constrained our policy options. Consequently, we have seen the fiscal deficit and public debt increase, placing additional strain on external reserves and contributing to exchange rate instability. Of course, all of these factors are at play, and we can see it on a daily basis. A thorough assessment of the economy revealed significant challenges, including high and rising inflation, inadequate foreign exchange supply, depreciation of the exchange rate, limited external reserves, weakened output, and high unemployment. Of course, we saw recently that the PNG are leaving the country, which is a threat to over 5,000 jobs. Not about other businesses that are not as big as PNG that have left, that have rendered a lot of people unemployed. So these are all factors confronting us in the economy as it is now, and of course will affect our external reserves, especially our oil production. Now, of course, the federal government is doing a lot of things alongside the CBN governor. We have seen so many new policies. We are seeing recapitalization for banks of over 500 billion naira. Now, let's see the banks that will make the cut, and perhaps the banks that will have to roll up or will be merged with another bank for us to be able to find and see a better flow of money in the country. Now, the National Assembly and NNPCL are not seeing head-to-head concerning the benchmark for oil output in 2024. Now, on the show, I have analyzed over and over what the 2024 budget entails and what it means. And now we are saying that recently, our lawmakers are saying not only do they want 1.7 million barrel production, but that the NNPCL should take it up to 1.8 million barrel. And we are seeing the GCEO carry saying that, you know what? It's not possible, and it's going to mean a lot of stress in the economy. He gave so many other factors in place that we have to consider, some of which that crude oil price and production benchmark were based on dynamics in the global market. I will advise that we stick to the submission of Mr. President on the quota. There is no way we will get crude oil less than $70, of course, because we are not only the ones in play. We have other giants, and we are under OPEC. Once economies are growing, there will be sustained demand for crude oil in our country and other countries. Now, we are also seeing caution, and this is also carried still cautioning us that the security challenge in the Niger Delta region could frustrate the projection of the federal government, citing crude oil theft. Now, the NNPCL GCEO told the gathering of lawmakers and journalists that illegal crude oil bunkering in the oil-producing states were alarming, as he revealed that there were over 4,800 illegal connections on crude oil pipelines. These are all the factors that we won't be able to meet the 1.8 million barrel production. And this is where the NNPCL GCEO Melekari is saying, you know what, your demand, it's almost impossible. and we shouldn't put ourselves in that position. Let's stick to what the president have already proposed, and perhaps we will see a better output for 2024. I hope that the lawmakers listen to the NNPCL CEO, as the things he have clearly stated are factors around oil production and presently affecting our output. So this should be an advice that shouldn't be neglected by the lawmakers, regardless of how ambitious our goals and aim for 2024. We have to be also aware of key indicators, and these are some of the few that the NNPCL boss have made mention, and we are not even reaching the 1.7 million quota yet, and we are now trying to set a benchmark of 1.8 million. Let's just keep our head in the game. This is to the lawmakers, and let's listen to the boss, because I mean, he has been there for a while and he knows what is achievable. There's nothing wrong for us to dream bigger, but also let's focus on other factors. And as we would advise the government of Nigeria, you know what, it's high time we stop looking at oil alone, because we have many other sectors that are lying and have the ability to generate trillions of revenue into the economy. Let's see our lawmakers talking about those economy sectors and seeing how they can take them to the level that will surpass oil in the future. Now, despite over $168 billion in remittance from Nigerians in diaspora in the span of 8 years, we are seeing a warning that there is going to be a decline in this remittance, and it starts this year 2023, and of course we can forecast that into the future for 2024. Now we saw on our newspapers last week clearly that one of the new UK laws for migrating into the country is that your job has to give you at least £37,000. In the past, it was £26,000, and now the benchmark has gone high to £37,000. Now, what this implies is that we might be seeing less Japan. Although, I mean, Nigerians will find their way. It's not only the UK that is accepting us, but for the UK, we might see less migration to the UK, because you have to meet this job standard of 37,000 a year, and that has to be a high quality, top-notch job, if I must put it like that. Now, this concern we are seeing stems from the pervasive effect of a global economy. It's not just about the job, but the major reason is that it's not only in Nigeria that there is inflation. It's not only in Nigeria that people are losing their job, but this evasion of economic crisis is all around the world, and the UK, US, Canada, everywhere the Nigerians are in diaspora are also affected. Therefore, there will be a decrease in remittance, because we have a report from Western Union, and we know that that is one of the largest major way Nigerians send funds from diaspora down to the country. Showed that uncovering consumer expectation of the remittance industry, the African series said Nigerians in diaspora cannot currently transfer a lot of funds home because of a harsh global economic condition. Rent is going high all across the world. The standard of living is also going high. Not only in Nigerians, I mean, it is important for us to know that the economic chaos is not only in Nigeria, but is global. The only difference is perhaps the index of inflation is not as high in other countries as it is in Nigeria. Now, it's stated that this is as most remittance receivers in the country reveal that they will need to get more money from senders due to a cost of living crisis. So yes, we are seeing that there is a global economic crisis, and therefore diaspora remittance is likely going to drop, and this drop is going to continue until there's some kind of stability in our global economy. And I mean, the diaspora, Nigerians in diaspora have tried to remit this amount of money over the years, be it through businesses, be it through funds sent to loved ones, to be able to run affairs in the country. Through whatever means it is, there has been a good amount of remittance of funds into the country, and this is also as a threat because there is global economic crisis going on. And this is how far I will go today on Business and Finance. Keep a date with me next time. Goodbye.